Okay, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm super excited to have you here this morning. We have a large group in the house, and we also have a number of gals who will be watching the recording. If you have not muted yourself, please do so now. I see a number of you not on mute, so go ahead and mute yourself. That would be great. We're here with Alex this morning, and we have a very popular topic that everyone has on their mind right now with regard to the big changes that are coming. As you heard Alex say just a moment ago, he'll walk through the session and then there'll be a Q&A, but I'm sure be lots of questions. Okay, let me take a moment and see.
I don't know if you heard any of that, but
yeah, you're telling me I'm not strong.
Okay. I think I have everyone muted now. Sorry about that. So Alex, give us a wave so everybody can see where you are. There he is. So some of you may have met Alex.
It's kind of obvious.
Yes. Very uncommon to have a male present or have a male at our events, but thanks very much. I've had a great opportunity to attend a couple of Alex's training sessions and info sessions, and actually he was doing some work for me a while ago with my Instagram account. So I have worked with Alex. He's a fabulous guy, a wonderful entrepreneur. You are going to learn so much today about the new features with regard to the new Google business profile. I'm excited to learn about how the transition should take place and what our next steps, Alex, should be if we currently have a Google account and how we need to fix that up so that we don't miss out the opportunity of being found. So I'm going to go ahead and let Alex share a little about himself with you, and then we'll go ahead and get the presentation started. How does that sound, Alex?
Yeah, that sounds great. Now, can I share my screen?
Absolutely. Let me just go ahead and find you and make you our host. Okay, did you get that notification?
Yes.
Excellent.
Perfect. Let me share my screen. All right, that's my promotions emails. Okay, so this is my presentation. I actually met Christine from Haley Patry and Araceli. So I'm sure you guys may have known them because I think they're part of your group as well, Christine. So that's great. And because of that, I was able to work with Christine on a few projects before. And I think this was before the pandemic. So it's been a few years. And I'm glad to have kept the connection. And, you know, one of the first things that I thought of when I launched this new service was to reach out to Christine, because I know that she will appreciate such new knowledge and potentially her group as well. So I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad that I'm able to speak on this topic. Now, before I get into the topic, just wanted to introduce myself a little bit. My background, my education is in website design. I went to York University, Sheridan College. It's a program for design and whatnot. So I worked in the website design industry for about a few years before I changed careers and went into the event planning industry for about 5 years. And then about 7 years ago, I started boutique websites where I really focus on building these signature websites from scratch. So today everybody's using templates. I understand that it's very cost efficient, very easy to use, very easy to edit and update. I built websites from scratch because there's a huge SEO component that can be built into the foundation of a website. And because of this, a lot of my clients rank much higher after a relaunch of their website. And because I'm also certified in SEO, when we build these sites, we build in the keywords that you want, your competitors are ranking for, and what you are already ranking for, but boosting it up to first page. So that's a little bit about, you know, boutique websites and why I founded it. Because we design everything from scratch, everything is custom and, you know, very different custom experience. If we have some time and if someone wants to see some of my work, more than happy to show the group. But today we're going to be focusing on the new Google Business Profile. And why I titled it the new Google Business Profile is because in about the end of 2021, a huge focus in reamping the Google Business or Google Maps or Google Locals, people call it different names, but this whole focus on Google Maps and Google Local has changed the algorithm in how businesses are ranked on Google Business and Google Local. And even if you were to search like, bridal shops near me, or just like bridal shops or consultants or whatever that may be, Google Maps or Google Local section will pop up on the Google search as well, showing the top 3 positions for that keyword. So there's a lot of new and high-tech stuff that's been happening in the Google Local or Google Maps. And that's why I'm doing this presentation, because there's so many new things that are happening there that other colleagues of mine in the SEO industry have no clue. And it wasn't as useful to focus on Google Business or Google Local before, because it doesn't allow you to optimize your profiles and get ranked as high as you can through SEO. So, and people that don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. When I say SEO, I'm only referencing like Google search, nothing to do with Google Business Profile, because it has nothing to do with Google Business Profile. You can rank on #1 on Google search, but not rank at all for Google Business Profile. And on Google Business Profile, you can rank, on the first page or the top 3 positions and not even have a website. So those are the distinctions when it comes to SEO versus Google Business Profile. All right, so just want to clarify a few terms before I get started, and clarify my intentions with this presentation is to really talk about what's new with Google Business Profile, what you can do to optimize it, and what really triggers Google's algorithm to allow you to rank much higher than you might be ranking right now. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so what's new? There's so many things that's new, from the user interface point of view to how Google ranks businesses. So let's talk about the user interface. If you have a Google Business Profile right now, you will find that right now you can actually edit and adjust your Google Business Profile right on Google search. So all you have to do is to search your own business name. So for me, it would be boutique websites. And if you were to search your own business name under the account, so you're logged into Google under the account that manages your Google Business Profile, then you will see on the right side of the screen, you can edit every element of your Google Business Profile there, instead of going and logging into Google My Business or Google Business Profile and then doing all the changes on the back end. You can do all the changes on the front end. So it's much like how websites allow you to visually edit your website. Now you can visually edit your Google Business Profile. Now, one of the main things that triggered this presentation is that the algorithm has completely changed. Before, the owner of a business can even change up their name or add in the keywords they want to rank for, and all of a sudden they're ranking on the top 3 positions. Now, from Google's perspective, that is not the best way to serve users of Google Maps. If people are searching for a place to eat or a realtor nearby or a dentist nearby, they want to be able to find the best results. And defining the best results is what the Google Business Profiles algorithm is all about. So what has changed other than taking out the importance of the name of your business? What has changed is that Google is much more listening to the user's interaction with your profile or with the keywords that you care for. So what does that mean? Okay, so Google basically records about 50 different factors when a user interacts with your profile, okay? And I'll give you an example to illustrate this point. One of the factors is, let's say I'm looking for a dentist. So I might search for dentist in Mississauga, or I might search for dentist. And then because it knows that I'm in Mississauga, it will put that into account, that it will show me results only in Mississauga or wherever my location is pinpointing me. So let's say I'm searching for dentist, and then I click on the Google Maps section, right? And you know what, maybe I can, no, I'll do that later. I might do a live example. So I'm searching for dentist. I see Google Maps. I click on Google Maps and it shows me all the results in Google Maps of all the different dentists around me. And then I click on, let's say, Christine's Dentistry. And I click on that and I am looking through it. I might ask a question. If I were to ask a question on her profile, because there's a way to ask a question directly to the profile, people will see the question and the public or anyone else can actually answer that question. Now, if I were to ask a question, at that point in time, Google will actually record that event, a user-generated event. And this is one of the 50 things that Google listens to, a user-generated event. Google would then track, okay, what did I search for, right? So I searched for dentist in Mississauga, or just the word dentist. Where did I search for it? So it would track my location, and it will calculate how far I am from the Google Business Profile where I asked the question. And all of that is recorded so that next time someone from my area is searching for a dentist, it will show that specific profile a little bit higher because, or it will put into account that I did all of this because I am in this location searching for a dentist, and I finally picked a dentist, which is Christine's Dentistry, and I asked a question. And that's one of the 50 things that Google looks for or records as an event. And that comes into account because it serves the user of Google Maps much better than, let's say Christine just changed her name to be dentist in Mississauga. And, you know, before the big change, if Christine changed her name to dentist Mississauga, she would actually rank a lot higher without all these like user-generated events because it didn't exist. But because of this big change, Google is listening to these events much more and putting more prominence and importance into these events than, let's say, Christine changing her business to dentist in Mississauga. All right, so that's a little bit of what's new. Let's go to the next slide. So this is just a zoom in into Google Business and how you can edit your website. So if I manage boutique websites, this will show up on the search page, and you can like literally edit your profile. You can promote it. You can look at your insights. So customers is a button where you can click on and you can see all the insights, how many people are viewing your page, how many people are clicking on the directions and where they're coming from. So all of that is super, super important. Now, it's important to also say that if you are a brick and mortar, meaning you have a office space or a place to meet clients, not a home base, but a place where you can meet clients and clients can come by and find you, and you have like office hours or something like that, it would be much easier for you to rank higher because Google Maps and Google Locals really do focus on those brick and mortar businesses, not home base, not businesses that serve just does a service in multiple areas with no like main office or head office. All right, so this is an example. Like on the right side, you see service areas. You can set up service areas, but it's way more effective to actually have a physical address where you do have a location. Because if you don't have a location, you will have an option to put service areas, which is good, but not as good as if you have a physical location. I also wanted to note that Google Maps is always updating their algorithm and just this whole Google Map feature. Even in the last 2 months, I've witnessed a lot of changes, and I know that there are even bigger changes coming up in the next couple of months. So it's good to keep yourself updated. And one of the things that's going to be fully updated is the customers tab, where you can see your insights. So right now you can see some basic insights, but later on you're going to be able to see even more in-depth insights, like what people are searching for in order to reach your profile, and where people are searching for, and where people are clicking on the directions button to get to your specific business. So there are many, many different changes that are coming up. Okay, so we talked about matching the search. So like the keyword that you want to rank for, that's really important. How you can optimize that for your website, we're going to go into it a little bit more. The distance from the searcher. So there's something called authority or influence when it comes to Google Maps. When your influence is high, you would appear in top 10 positions when a searcher is further than 5 miles by 5 miles. And as you get your influence higher or your authority higher, you would appear on a higher position, even if people were 10 miles by 10 miles away. So there is almost like a distance, like if you picture a map and you see like these radiuses or around you, that is kind of like your circle of influence. And the point of this is to know that it exists and that you want to extend your circle of influence more and more and more. All right. And also prominence is also very important. So what your reviews, like the stars or the rating, are you a 5-star? Are you a 4.5? That is also important. The number of reviews that you have is important. The quality of your reviews is also very important. And we're going to go into each of these in more detail. So this is an example, right? So I have a tool that allows me, it's a very expensive tool, to see a specific business with a specific keyword. So in this example is bridal store. Okay, so my client is a bridal store. So we're trying to optimize for this keyword bridal store. So people in a closer radius. So number 1 in the center is where she is located. Anybody in that radius will see her as number 1 when they search bridal store. Now, as we go further off, we see that she's number 2. And then as we go further off, we see that directly south of her, she's number 7. So this is probably where we can optimize or start targeting our efforts to optimize her to rank much higher. But the point of showing you this map is that this is the radiuses. And here is about 3 miles. Here is about 5 miles from her. And then as we go on, like here is about like 11 miles from her. So this is basically telling you your position based on this keyword and based on where the searcher is located. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Now, relevance is also very important. Have you ever had someone just, write a review, and obviously you're happy about it, but the review itself is also very important. Sometimes people are like, yay, amazing, Christine has a great business. Doesn't say anything about her business, doesn't say anything about what she did for her, and doesn't relate any of the details of her experience. Now, the quality of the review is extremely important. The longer review is great, but the idea here is to know what you are currently ranking for. So let's say you are a bridal store. Let's go back to the bridal store example. There are quite a lot of keywords that you might be ranking for, like bridal stores, or the town that she's in, the district that she's in is actually called the Reading Bridal District. It's the world's biggest bridal district. Maybe not the world, but North America's largest bridal district. And people normally would just search Reading Bridal District, would not even search for bridal stores, would not search for anything related to bridal, just searching for Reading Bridal District. So we know that that keyword is also another keyword that people just search for, and it's really important. Now, if someone were to leave a review and put in both the bridal store. So I went to, this bridal store, and it is one of the best bridal stores that I went to out of the 7 bridal stores that I've been to in the Reading Bridal District. And after going through 7 different bridal stores, this is the one that I chose. And I'm so happy to have found the Reading Bridal District. Now, in this review, I've mentioned the Reading Bridal District at least twice, and the bridal store maybe 3 or 4 times. That is a very high quality review. And Google would track that event. Who left that review? Where did that person come from? Like where her physical location is on the map? What is the distance from her to the business? And how many times did she mention these keywords? And because of that, because I've mentioned it quite a few times, and because I am potentially very close to her, or maybe 5 miles away, she's going to increase her ranking. And that's one of the things that Google really, really listens to. Now, another thing that you can optimize your profile is that when you create your profile, make sure you're using the right category. So for me, I am a website designer. So you see under the stars, the rating, it says website designer. For my client, it would be like a bridal store, right? And in the name of your business, before you were able to put in, the city. So boutique websites, website design in Mississauga. Before you're able to do that, right now, if you do it, you could get a penalty. Now, it's not worth doing it anyways because of the huge changes in the algorithm, but in the description of your business, you can mention those keywords that you think you might be ranking for. Now, just make a note, it's really important to discover what you're currently ranking for, both for your website and for your Google business profile, because what you are already ranking for is what Google is favoring you and your business for. And it's much easier to rank higher for keywords that you're being favored for than to rank for a keyword that you're not even ranking for in the top 100 results. So you want to figure out what you are ranking for in the top 10 pages. And I can do that for you. So in this call, if you're listening to this, either on this call live or later on in the recording, you can reach out to me and I'll leave my email at the very end. And it's a free Google keyword audit. So basically, I review all the keywords that you're ranking for on the top 10 pages of Google. And then from there, you can create your strategy. A lot of people try to create a strategy. I think I'm ranking for, bridal stores. I think I'm ranking for, dentistry or whatever that may be. Now, knowing what you're ranking for is good, but knowing what you're currently ranking for, like the specific position you're in, is even better because you know how far you are from the top and how much work you might need to put in. So definitely reach out to me. And yeah, so the description, if the name of your business naturally has the keywords in there, even better. If you were to request a review from a customer, create a template. Once you discover the keywords that you're currently ranking for, send them a template, tell them that make sure you have this keyword, and that keyword in there. And that's it. And maybe even write the beginning, like the first sentence for them. But don't send that same email to 20 other people because then everybody will start with the same first sentence. So make sure you change the first sentence before you send it to each and every one of your clients. All right, so let's go to the next one. Now, this is something that's also very new. Google has incorporated AI technology, and AI technology is only working, or it will only kick in when it encounters something that the current Google algorithm does not understand. Because it's very costly to have AI be part of the process. So it only comes into play when things Google encounter doesn't understand. One of the things that Google still doesn't do very, very, very well at is recognizing photos, because at the end of the day, it's just a machine, it's code. It doesn't have eyes. It can't really recognize things properly. So AI comes into play. And how we can use this to our advantage is that there's something called Google Vision API. So no, it's Google Cloud Vision API. If you search that on Google, it's a free tool that you can actually use. You can upload a file, so an image, and Google will try to recognize what that image is about. Now, you want to match that with the keywords that you're currently ranking for. So if you're ranking for bridal store or wedding dress or whatever that may be, now in this example is the bridal store. Wedding dresses here, 95%. It's 95% sure it's a wedding dress. And it is 92%, this is bridal clothing. And then another keyword is dress. So this is a good image. This is a very good image. So if your reviewers or yourself were to upload this image into a bridal store business, this will help you to rank as well, because Google is recognizing that, okay, you're a bridal store and you're uploading images that has to do with a bridal store. Now, you uploading it is good, but what's even better is if a reviewer uploads an image that Google recognizes as the keywords that you're trying to rank for. Because Google will always give more precedence and more importance to someone who is a user that's not managing your business. Okay, so keep that in mind. Whatever you do is great. You're setting up the stage for other reviewers and other potential visitors to interact with your Google profile. You're really just setting up the stage. The juice of all of this, the things that really move your ranking is the user-generated events. Like if someone were to come onto your profile and click on directions and actually drive to your location, or someone leaving a review or asking a question or chatting or messaging you through the Google Business profile. So all of those are user-generated events, all right? So definitely take advantage of this. You can play around with this, because as soon as you upload that file, you will be able to see what Google is trying to recognize from that image. And I mean, I use this image specifically because I even named the photo a screenshot. So it doesn't even have anything to do with those keywords. Google has no clue what this image is other than have AI kick in to try to recognize the photo through, artificial intelligence. So this is an amazing example, and definitely take a look at that. All right, let's go to the next part, how we can optimize. So I do website design, but there are other things that are similar to website design, like graphic design or video production or SEO or website hosting company. All of that is important. For me, I'm a service. So I'm a service, but I also have a physical location that I can rent. So a virtual office, if you're a service and don't have a physical location, you can use a virtual office, or a virtual office with mailing capability, like receiving mail on your behalf, is very important, because then you will have a physical address and your Google Business profile will be much more effective. Keep in mind to always update your hours, especially on holidays and whatnot. There are photos that you can upload. Now, in the photos area, there are different categories. So there are interior, really important, because it shows to Google that you do have a physical location. So the interior is important. The exterior is important. There's also a category for your team. So you can take pictures of yourself and your people that work with you. That's also very, very important. So these are already predetermined categories that Google has when it comes to photos. And if you can fulfill all of those photo requirements, it will help you a lot. Now, if you don't have a website, you can create a Google website, which will only take you about 10 minutes. If you don't care about SEO and all you care about is a Google Business profile, it is possible to rank very high without a custom website. You can just use one of Google's, Google websites, and it's very basic, but it does the trick. And when it comes to Google Local, Google Business, that's all you need. You really don't need anything else. Now, if you want to have other people manage your Google Business, the last tab down here called Users, that's where you can share access to have other people work on your Google business profile. Like, for example, there are times where you can post. So right under the home tab, you're going to see post. So you should have updated posts every now and then, because it is important to show Google that you're updating, you have specials, you have promotions, and you're not just, you know, a dead business or a business that's already out of business a long time ago. It shows Google that you are updated. And just the other day, I was using Google Maps and I was looking at the hours of a business, and it had a little one line that said, the hours has been confirmed or confirmed by someone else a week ago. So it's telling me that these hours are extremely accurate because another user has somehow confirmed or made sure that those hours are accurate. Okay, so that's really important. Another thing is that not all Google users are equal. There's something called Google Local Guides. Have anybody heard of Google Local Guides? Well, you guys can tell me afterwards. But basically, Google Local Guides is Google users or people that do reviews on Google Maps or Google Business have done enough to earn enough points to be a level 2 Google Business Guide or a level 3 Google Business Guide. As soon as you hit level 2, you're able to do more things on other people's Google Business, like answer questions or how to further optimize the Google Business profile. So Google, once you go to a business, Google might actually know that you went to this business, and on your phone, you have a notification. How was this business? How was it, like this dentist or this bridal shop? And it will ask you things like, is it accessible to, like, does it have any accessibility issues? Does it have a all gender washroom? Or does it do this or does it do that? You can answer all of those if you're a higher level Google local guide. So it's just something that doesn't really affect you, but something that's good to know. Now, it's not just Google. Keep in mind that Google looks at other businesses as other review sites as well, whatever that's relevant to your industry. So in this one, this person might be a real estate agent or maybe something else that has to do with homes. So it's pulling up. So from this Google business profile, I can see the reviews from homeadvisor.com, but I can also see the reviews from Facebook as well. So having good reviews in multiple review sites are extremely important. And down here in the reviews, Google is actually pulling a 3 different top reviews based on what I searched for. So it's showing me these 3 reviews. Unfortunately, this specific business haven't got customers that put in all the specific keywords. So it's not showing me the specific keywords that I actually search for. However, it is showing me some of the top reviews on, or Google deemed top reviews on their profile. So it's really important to get your reviewers to review your business using those keywords. Okay, so in 2020, there was a study. So which review sites did you use to find information about local businesses in 2020? Now, Google is obviously #1, but I think Google is much, much, much higher in 2022. I would even say maybe even 80 to 90%. Facebook, Yelp, the Best Business Bureau, TripAdvisor. So these are all important sites depending on what industry you're in. So just keep in mind, this is something good to know, and make sure you get reviews in these different sites. Another thing is try not to get your client or your customer to copy and paste your review from Google to Facebook to Yelp to Better Business Bureau, because Google knows that it's a copy and paste and won't take that into account. It doesn't work. So if you want a client to leave 2 reviews in 2 different platforms, make sure they're 2 separate, like written in a different way. Don't have it copied and paste. All right. Now, adding products and services are extremely important as well. Google can only guess what kind of products and services you have. But if you actually add them in, put in all the description and plug in a few keywords while you're at it, it will definitely help Google understand what you do and actually help you rank higher for, let's say I'm searching for a bridal store. If you have like a wedding dress or wedding gown or bridal gown, those are great keywords to have in the description, but also in your product name as well. Make sure you put it in a category as well. And if you can put in the pricing, that would be great. I know your pricing will change, so having a price range is probably better. And before you put in that image, use the Google Cloud Vision API to figure out what that image is saying in Google's eyes, so that when you put it in, it will also reaffirm the keywords that you're trying to rank for. Okay, all of this is going to help you. Oh, before I go to the next page, on the bottom left, you see questions and answers. The community or the person that's viewing your Google Business Profile, anybody, not just someone who's managing your Google Business Profile, but anybody can leave questions and also answer them as well. So from my research, anything that you do has some effect with your ranking, but the real importance is user-generated events. So if someone else, like a visitor or user from your target location, is answering or asking questions on your Google Business Profile, it will have a much more important effect on your ranking. So on your backend, if you were to log into Google Business Profile, you would see a section or a button here that will have this share form link. You can actually copy this share form link and send it to your customers so that they will basically go to that link and find your profile automatically. They don't have to go on Google and search for you to find you. They can just either click on this button, or you can just copy and paste this link to your email before you send it out. Especially if you're requesting a review, it makes it extremely easy for the reviewer to basically go onto the link, just click on the link and get right onto your page and leave you a 5-star review, hopefully. So again, what you do on your profile, it's not that important. It really creates that platform for users to be able to interact with you, and the more they interact with you, the better your ranking will be. So there are, as I said before, about 50 different user-generated events that Google records. Everything from uploading a photo onto your profile, asking a question, answering a question. There's now a messaging button that you can put on your Google Business Profile where they can message you, like a chat. They can click on the call button and call you. They can request for directions. Now, with requesting for directions, it will actually track the user like coming to your place. If they don't actually come to your place, it doesn't track it as a user-generated event. But all of these are user-generated examples of great user-generated events. So manipulation, and I'm going to say this using the word manipulation, because in order to almost manipulate or get Google to think you should rank much higher, is only through the user side. And only through the user side would you be able to do that. You as an owner has some control over that. As I spoke before, you can send your users pre-written reviews so that they will put it onto your Google Business Profile. You can even ask your friends who are nearby to actually physically drive to your location. So there are things that you can do to get yourself to rank higher, but there's only so much, because if you're a very popular business, it would take a lot of that work to create an effect, because there's so many people already interacting with your business. So before I jump onto this page, I wanted to show you something. So here, I search for bridal shops. You know what? Let me search for where I am. So on Google, at any moment in time, if you want to know where you are located, where Google is recording that event, where you are, you can always search where am I, or where am I right now. Both works. And it will show me this blue dot over here. I am located right at the reading area. So the reading bridal district is in this reading area. Now, if I were to search for bridal shops or bridal stores, it would show me the bridal stores. But because I've been interacting with Google a lot, it's now showing me the Mississauga ones. Update location. Yeah, it's now showing me the Mississauga ones. Let me see if I can go back here. Oh, right over here. Okay, we'll use a Toronto example, doesn't matter. So as you can see, when I search for bridal shops, I never put down the location. Is it in Toronto? Is it in Mississauga? But as you guys know, I'm in Mississauga. So it's showing me right now that I'm in Mississauga from the Google Maps section. Now, this is the Google search page. This is not Google Maps. And it's still showing me the Google Maps stuff. Okay, now it's showing me. So in the last page, I searched for where am I? And it's showing, okay, now it's showing this, but okay, before it was showing the reading. If this was recorded, you can rewind it, but I was in a reading bridal district in Cincinnati, Ohio. So when I search for bridal shops, I'm able to see all the bridal shops in that area because Google tracked where I am. And Blush Bridal is actually my client, and that's where she's ranking right now, #1. Now, she doesn't have the most, well, let's actually go into it. So as we can see, she doesn't have the most amount of reviews because some of them have 2.6K reviews. Some of them have much less, but Blush Bridal only has 229. So what it's telling me is that the quality of those reviews are extremely important. And I just want to show you before I go into the next step. She is also ranking on #2 on Google. So on SEO, she's ranking very high as well. So the future of Google. As we see more and more technology develop the AR, so augmented reality. I know you guys have heard of VR, virtual reality, but augmented reality is a mixture of both VR, virtual reality, and reality, like real life. So I'll give you an example. Apple is launching, so Google launched their Google Glasses. It didn't work well. Apple is launching their Apple Glasses. I think by the end of next year, we'll see it. And basically, when you wear this pair of glasses and you look outside your window, you will see different businesses. In a augmented reality technology, when you wear this glasses, so Apple Glasses is the perfect example for augmented AR, augmented reality. Because when you wear these glasses, it will show you, like, if I see a Wendy's outside, it will show me the ratings, like the reviews, the number of stars, how to get there. Like, it will show me all this additional information about that business just by looking at it in real life. So that is an example of a mixture of real life mixed with the, in the world of internet things like reviews and stuff like that. And if I were to, on my Google Glasses, click on directions, it would just give me the directions to get there, which is amazing. So the future of Google search, the future of Google Maps, the more AR gets developed. And I think in the near future, we're going to see a lot of augmented reality things. Presentations are going to be very different. Going into theme parks are going to be very different. Even like everyday life is going to be very different. So AR is going to continue to develop. And as soon as Apple Glasses come out, it's going to develop AR so fast we're not even going to recognize how we've been living in the last, like in 10 years time, because AR is going to be so different and so like it's going to revolutionize our current state of technology. So as AR develops, Google Maps will develop alongside AR, because Google Maps currently is the closest thing we have with AR, because it is basically a virtual version of our reality. I mean, think about how many times we use Google Maps, like getting to places, looking at reviews, finding places to go to, all of that is through Google Maps. And that is what, this is what we have as the closest thing to AR before Apple or Google Glasses fully come out and fully develop. All right. So, I mean, there's a few other things here, but if this is going to get recorded, then you guys can definitely look through it. So I am offering this group and people that are looking at the recording a free SEO audit on your website, but also your ranking for it, your position, to discover all the keywords you're currently ranking for, all the keywords that Google is currently favoring you. As I said before, if Google is already favoring you for these keywords, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get higher because Google's already favoring you for these keywords. It's just how much Google is favoring you, and we will discover that in the position of those keywords that you really do care about. Review the profile. I'm more than happy to do a review of your Google business profile when we have this meeting for the SEO audit. And another thing that you should do is update your Google business profile and have like weekly posts. You should definitely check your Google business profile every now and then so it keeps it updated, and Google will see that every time you make an update, your profile is updated, and get more reviews. So use some of the tools that I told you about, like the AI to recognize the imagery, the Google review button, the link, how to grab it, and to, once you discover your keywords, send your reviewers or your clients who are going to review you those keywords to add into their reviews. So the complimentary keyword audit, I normally charge $300 US because most of my clients are in the US. But for this workshop, more than happy to give it to you as a complimentary. Just email me, alex@boutiquewebsites.ca by the end of today. So if you're interested, please do that. And I'm also doing a special on what I offer as the business profile package. So it's a new service. I don't think anybody else is really offering this service, but it's a monthly service to help you boost your rankings. And as I said before, boosting your rankings has to be user generated. So how I do that is I actually create multiple accounts, and I can create the illusion that I'm actually located in those areas that you're not ranked very high on. Maybe you're on 9th or 10th position and you want to rank higher on, and create those user generated events like directions, like so if I'm using the directions route to get Google to record that event, I can actually have Google see me physically coming to your location, even though I'm not physically coming through, using software. So there's a lot of things that I do in this profile that uses software, and it's a new service. That's why it's on discount right now. So $350 is what I am offering as a special price, and what I recommend is 4 months, but you can cancel anytime. Again, just reference this group, and I'm more than happy to offer you that special. So we do have 9 minutes. So during these 9 minutes, hopefully I can get through all the questions. I don't know how you want to set this up, Christine.
Do you want me to? I actually at 10:12 I put the word questions, so I knew where to separate from the comments people were making. So do you want me to just go read them to you? Make it easier? Perfect. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, let's do that.
So so first question is the Google app, the app on your phone, it's leaving, right?
No, Google Business Profile, the app, I believe is still, no, it's not leaving. I think it's still here.
Okay, I thought that was going. So, but everything can be done from the back end of the Google My Business profile page on.
Oh, so Google My Business Profile app is not useful anymore. Like
Okay.
if you want to manage your business on Google Maps, the Google My Business Profile app is non-existent anymore, but Google Maps is still here.
Yes, Google Maps, right? That's the question. Okay, and then Monica says, you took us in at the beginning and showed us how to go into the maps and make the changes. She is asking if that can be done on the phone. Would she just pull up the website? Would she just go to the browser and do it there?
Yeah, so go onto your browser and just search your own business and you can do it there. I believe if you do it on the phone, it won't allow you yet, but I'm sure in a very near future, you will be able to do it. Yeah, actually, no. Now you can do it on Google Maps as well. So if you search your business, you're able to edit your entire profile on the Google Maps.
On the phone. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Next question, Paula says, my Google My Business is set high with the maps. Will this change?
So right now you're ranking very high on maps. It is always changing. And because of the speed of which they're updating the Google Maps algorithm on the back end, it could potentially change. So if you're ranking high, that's great. Now, my question to you is, you're ranking high in your 3-mile radius, your 4-mile radius, or your 10-mile radius. You might be ranking high because it knows that you are searching yourself, obviously. But if someone else far, maybe 6 miles away is searching for you, are you ranking high as well? That's the main question.
Okay, awesome. Next question is, as a woman who works from home, I don't want people to know my location. What do you suggest as a workaround for that?
I mentioned this in a presentation. You should rent a like an office space, like a co-working space, or rent a virtual mailbox where you can receive physical mail. In the description of your Google Business Profile, just say appointments only. Don't like drive by and just try to find you. That would be the workaround around it.
Okay. Next question is, how can we get the physical address part? My business is based on different locations that I secure for my retreats, not just one location, for example, Airbnbs.
Okay. If it's an Airbnb, I would have multiple Google Business Profiles, not one. If you look at like hotels, for example, hotel chains, they have so many different hotel locations, but they each have their own Google Business Profile.
Okay, this might be a repeat, but I'm just going to read it anyway. So my location is my home. I didn't put the address in because it's my house. So Alex, are you saying that it's beneficial to have it there? And then she goes on.
Definitely more, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, she goes on to say that she does home staging.
Okay.
And Google My Business doesn't allow that, her to add that. I guess she's suggesting as a category.
Yeah, so some categories you really cannot. If that's the case, then you will have to suffice. I mean, having the location, the physical location, is always going to be better. But you can still rank really high even without that. That is only one of the many factors that Google looks at. Okay.
And Alice, when you were showing us that colored grid with your client number 1 and outside the 2, the 3, the 4, the 7, the 10, someone's asking, what is that tool called?
That is Falcon Loco.
Falcon?
Falcon, yes.
Okay.
So Falcon Loco. It is this tool over here. Logo. But it's not a free tool. It's quite an expensive tool.
Okay, thank you. What languages are the reviews rated on? For example, if a review is written in English, does it carry more weight as to compared to a review written in another language?
That is what a great question. So they both have the same value. So a lot of my clients, like especially in Texas or in the southern part of the US, they have the Spanish reviews are also very, very, very important because there's a huge Spanish population there. So you may want to have different languages, like in Mississauga, for example, you may want to have reviews written in French and also written in English. The main thing is not what the language is written in. The main thing is having those keywords in the reviews themselves.
Okay, so then Monica, I think you hear the answer there, because the next part of Monica's question is if it's written in poor English or shorthand or typos. So that those will affect or not affect, not have an impact. Okay. Monica's question also is if you have multiple locations. I think Alex also already answered this by saying create multiple Google Map accounts or Google accounts. And then Ritu says virtual offices help you separate your home from a business and give you a physical space. Sam commented, sounds like a physical space is key. For those of us who have a global business via e-commerce, what do you suggest? What should they do?
Google Maps is not meant for like online businesses. Brick and mortar is what Google Business is trying to do. So Google Maps, Google Local, Google Business is all about the brick and mortar and the small businesses, not the e-commerce, not the full digital businesses.
Okay, now having said that, the next question is, can you share some tips for those of us, because I think a large number of us on this call are online or home-based businesses. So do you have any quick tips that you can share with us for the home-based business person who doesn't have a brick and mortar?
Yeah, I built this presentation based on that because I know that a lot of entrepreneurs and home-based businesses will be on this call. So again, it's the same advice that I've been giving in the presentation is go get a virtual office so you can verify your Google Business profile, get like a place that you can rent a mailbox even if you don't want a virtual space or a virtual office, it doesn't cost that much. And that way you can verify it. So
Perfect.
Ideally you have a physical location, but if you really don't, I mean, it's just one of the many factors.
Right. So remember what Alex said. He said, make sure your description is up to date and you're using your keywords in your description. Make sure that you're adding a post every week. Make sure you're adding products as well. And in those products, make sure your keywords are used in the product name and make sure you're adding photos, not stock imagery, but pictures of you out and about in the office, outside of the office. What I found for some of my clients, Alex, is when they go out to the office, they're realtors, and they take pictures of themselves, even with their office in the background that has the address, the phone number. Google loves that and shows it to more people. So remember those key things that Alex had said. There was lots of great pointers he gave. Someone says, I have customers fill out the review and then the review never shows up. So they've asked the customer to go and do a screenshot and it still doesn't show up. Any suggestions for resolving that?
Yeah, so right now, because of a lot of changes, I also experienced that as well. And I don't know a workaround around it for now, but it seems like the less reviewed, like if your customer hasn't reviewed anyone else or only reviewed one or two other people, because Google is scared of spam or fake accounts, it may not show that review. So it's in Google's discretion, but I haven't discovered how they can, when they would trigger this non-review event to happen. So I don't know exactly how to overcome it, but I'm looking into it actually. Okay. It's a very interesting thing that happens.
Okay, yes, that's happened to me as well. Sorry, there's just a couple more questions. What would you say is the biggest mistake people make on Google My Business?
The biggest mistake is, I mean, I think everybody's making it, is not knowing what you're currently ranking for. Because if you don't know what you're currently ranking for, how do you optimize? You can't put together a strategy for ranking for those keywords. And plus, if you don't know what you're ranking for and how many people are searching for it, you might be aiming to rank for a keyword that nobody is actually searching for. So that would be the worst mistake that you can do, is to try to rank for a keyword that nobody else is actually searching for. If you're doing that, you're wasting a lot of time.
Okay. And how often should they be updating their Google My Business profile? Or Google My Business?
I would say weekly is good. Weekly is good.
Awesome. And then someone commented that during a certain period of time, because of COVID, they were disabling reviews because some businesses were getting bad reviews. I think that's resolved now, but she's suggesting maybe that's what it was. Okay. And mobile businesses, any tips for mobile businesses? I think that question was from Zara. I think Zara, mobile or online, maybe some of the same suggestions we've given, but Alex, do you have any additional?
Yeah, so if you're a mobile business focused in Mississauga, you can put in, instead of your physical address, targeted areas, so service areas.
Okay.
Service areas will allow you to put in specific areas in Mississauga or Toronto that you want to aim for. The more you put in, the less effective it is, but I mean, it's less effective than having a physical location.
Okay, thank you. And how do you get social media links to appear?
It's automatic. So your social reviews appear automatically. Google
No, social media links. Social media links. I think she's referring to like Instagram and Facebook.
It doesn't appear. It does not appear on a Google business profile. What does appear is your reviews from Facebook.
Okay.
And sometimes it appears, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on Google.
Okay. So Juanita, I hope that answered your question. Juanita, you also ask if you put the service area as Ontario. I would honestly think that's too big. You want to break that down. Mississauga, Milton, Moulton, Hamilton, Oakville. That's my opinion anyway. Any thoughts on? Yeah, okay. Okay, well, that comes to the end of our Q&A session. Alex, that was amazing. Ladies, I would love us to take a picture with our thumbs up for Alex. Can we all come on camera for 1 second? I know I'm sorry. Some of you have already left. I do apologize. But if we could come on camera and everybody could pinch your cheeks and lick your lips and smile. But I'd love to see a thumbs up for Alex's session here. So if everybody could give a thumbs up, 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, got it. Thanks, everyone. Alex has already shared the contact information with you. I will share it again in the email. I will send out, please accept my apologies. For those of you who are on our last Lunch and Learn, I have not sent out the recording yet. My bad. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on with my family. I'm back in the office now. So I'll send out that recording to those who registered for the class, as well as this recording with Alex's permission for anyone who registered today. That'll go out this afternoon. But please feel free. Alex has already dropped his email address in the chat box. Please feel free to reach out to Alex. Remember, he said that if you want to get that free SEO audit, you need to email him. It needs to be done by email, and it needs to be done by the end of today. Okay, so get on it. His email should be smashed and slammed right now with tons of emails, because if you're not taking advantage of this opportunity, ladies, I mean, really, why wouldn't you? Okay,
thank you
Alex,
so much, Christine.
Any parting words from you, Alex?
Everyone. Well, I just want to thank everyone that's here. This is an amazing group of intelligent businesswomen, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much, Christine, for having me here, and thank you guys for being the audience and the kind comments that I see, so many of them in the chat. So thank you.
Terrific. Okay, ladies, have a fabulous day. I haven't gone through all of the chat. I will save it and take a look at it, but have a great one, and we'll see you all soon, either online or in person. Stay well, everyone.